Hey guys, so today I'm going to be showing you how to make Christmas greeting cards inside of Microsoft PowerPoint instead of Cricut Design Space. So the cards that you make in Cricut Design Space, a lot of them are cut projects or cut and draw type projects, and they require you to have different tools to complete the projects. Like you might have to have a scoring um, tool, and you may also have to have your different colors of cardstock. So it just requires a lot more work in Cricut Design Space. I'm going to show you how you can create a simple greeting card in Microsoft PowerPoint, especially during these trying times with COVID-19 and people being a little bit tight with funds or tight on funds this year for Christmas. So I'm going to show you a quicker way and a less expensive way to actually do your greeting cards in Microsoft PowerPoint. All right, so without further ado, this is the card that we're going to be creating. This is going to make two cards out of one sheet of paper. So you're going to have this on the front side, and then you're going to have this on the inside. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from our family to yours, okay? So what I like to do is I always start out in Microsoft PowerPoint on a new slide. I'm just going to put two slides in here, or I'll just do one for right now. And then what I do is I do an insert and a shape. And I'm going to make that shape. I'm going to use a rectangle, and I'm just going to left click and drag. You have to left click and drag to insert your shape. If you just click off of it, it's not going to put your shape in. So you have to left click and then drag to get your rectangle. What I do then is I take that rectangle and I'm going to come over to the right side of my screen to the format shape. If this doesn't show up on your PowerPoint, then you just right click and choose format shape. But what I'm going to do is the first thing, I'm going to take out the fill. So I'm going to select no fill. And then the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go to this button here, which is your size and proportions. And I'm going to click that, and I'm going to make the height of this card 4.25. And the width of the card, I'm going to make 5.5. And what that's going to do is when I place it at the bottom, it's going to actually give me the front side of my card to let me know that I want to stay within this red template here to create the front part of one of my cards, okay? And then I'm just going to right click and copy, and then right click and paste. And go ahead and paste that second one over to the right. Okay, so they both fit perfectly. And you see that red line going down the middle of my screen? That's to let me know that it's centered. And now I can click off of it. All right, so what we're going to do now is we're going to right click and select duplicate slide. Now, when we get ready to print this out, we're going to get rid of this red line or this red rectangle. This is just a template to let us know that we want to stay inside of this box when we're designing. Because if we go outside of it or up here, then your image is going to be on the back side of your card, and you don't want that. Or it's going to be bleeding into the other card, and you don't want that. So this is just a template. That's what we're going to call this. This is just a template. The next thing is there's two ways that I locate images. So this is the image I'm working with, and this is a free image that I got off of pixabay.com, Pixabay.com. So what I do is I go to Pixabay and I just typed in Christmas, and you have this option here where you can do photos, which is what I'm using, and photos is going to give you realistic pictures, okay? So you can see any of these in Pixabay are free for you to use, okay? You do want to stay away from the ones that are here on this very first line because these are linked to iStock, and they're going to cost you if you click on them. Now, if you want to pay for the greeting card that you're doing or the image, then go to iStock. But if you want to use the free ones, then you want to stay down below this line here, okay? So any of these. Also, if you don't want a realistic photo, then you can choose vector graphics. And it's going to give you all the different vector graphics. And again, you want to stay away from that very first row of images because those are going to charge you. And then you can scroll all the way down to the bottom. And what you're going to notice is that there are one of 18 pages of vector graphics out here that you can use. Okay. So again, this is one of the places that I go to locate images. You can also Google, and here I did Google, and I just Googled Christmas artwork. The only difference here is some of these may have watermarks on them, and if they have a watermark, that means you cannot use them for free. You may be able to purchase them from the creator, or they may not be selling them at all. They just don't want you to, they don't want to sell them and you can't use them. So these you might have to scroll through and find, you know, some free ones, but you can also go here. So I'm going to go back to Pixabay, and I'm going to click back on photos. And I'm going to be using this image right here because I think it's absolutely gorgeous. All right, so what you're going to do is you go ahead and click the image, and you're going to right click and save image as. And I have already saved it, so I have it in my Christmas folder. And then once you get it and wherever you want it on your computer, you just hit save. And I'm not going to save it again since I already have it there. And then I'm going to go back to PowerPoint. So now that I have my image in Microsoft or saved to my computer, I'm now going to insert it to my template here. So you're going to go to your menu and select Insert, Picture, This Device, and select your image and insert. Now, one of the ways that you can fill in this shape, I'm going to show you an easy way that you can do it, is you can actually right click and select copy on your image and then go to your shape. Let me move this over so you can see. And then go to your shape. And then on the right, you're going to select this little bucket here, which your fill in line. And then choose picture or texture fill. And then select clipboard. And it's going to automatically place that image. So I can go ahead and delete this inside that shape. Okay, so you don't have to worry about sizing. So let's do it again. So you're going to click your shape. You're going to go over to fill, and you're going to select picture or texture fill. And it's already, we already did it from the previous one, so we didn't have to select clipboard because it was already there. So now we have the front part of our card completely done. Okay, so now all we have to do is do the inside of our card. So again, this red line, this red rectangle is just a template to let us know that we want to stay within each one of these little boxes for our design. So we're going to go back to our menu and select Insert, and we're going to select Text Box. You also have to left click and drag, otherwise your text box is not going to show up. So you just left click on your mouse and drag it. And we're going to say Merry Christmas. Well, don't know what I did there, but let me go back. We're going to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year from our family to yours. All right, so now we have our words in. We're going to go ahead and highlight it. And you're going to go back to your menu to Home. And you're going to come right up under Review, and you're going to click this little area here for centering. And then we're going to go back to Home, and we're going to change the font. Now, I'm going to go with About Love because that's one of my favorites. If you don't have this, then you can actually download it or upload it to your computer from thefont.com for free. So I'm going to use About Love, and I'm going to go ahead and drag it down. And then I'm going to size it to what size I need it. So I'm just going to bring these on the inside so they're not overlapping. And now I'm going to go in and highlight it, and I'm going to go back to Home. And this time I'm going to choose a font size. So I think I want it on this 40. And I'm just going to bring that up. and get it centered. And when you see those red lines, it's letting you know that it's centered. Okay, so very faint red line going down the center of that little card, and I'm going to click off of it. So that's nice and centered for me. And you can bold this if you like by just clicking on the text, going home, and then selecting this B for bold. And then I am going to right click on this and copy and paste. And that way I can put it over on to the second card. So those red lines are letting me know that it's laid lined up properly to the card on the left. That's what that red line indicates. Now we have the front side of our card and the inside of our greeting card. Nothing else to do but print. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to be printing this out just on plain white paper because I've ran out of my my glossy card stock. And also what I'm going to do, I'm going to I'm going to click on this and I'm going to go back over to my field and proportions. And I'm going to come down to where it says line and select no line because I don't want that red line around my image. So again, click on the image, come over to your field, scroll down to line and select no line. And that way that red line won't be there. And we're going to do the same thing on this one. We're going to delete that red line. So we are going to click on it and say delete it. And just delete it. There we go. So now we don't have to worry about that line being in the middle. The other thing I'm going to tell you is it's best if you do this project on high definition glossy paper or glossy cardstock because then it looks really, really pretty versus if you're using just plain matte cardstock or even glitter paper will be really pretty with these cards. So at this point, we're going to be printing this out on one sheet of paper. We're not going to be using 2 sheets of paper. So you want to go to File, Print, and go to your actual printer properties. And you want to make sure to get rid of the border. You want to change that paper to like other photo inkjet paper, something rather than plain paper. So I'm going to use other photo inkjet, other photo inkjet paper is what I'm going to select. And then that will allow me to take off the border. So it's borderless. And what that does, guys, it's going to remove the white. You know how you print something sometimes and you end up with white around it here? It's going to remove that white around it. So we'll have just the image itself with no white border. Once you do that, and you've selected your printer and you got all that set up, you want to make sure that your settings say print current slide. So if yours say print all slides, click on this little drop down arrow to the right here and select print current slide. But you do not want it on print all. So print current slide, and then we're going to go ahead and hit print. And then I'm going to get set up where you can actually see me on the latter half of this. So give me 1 second. So I'm going to show you when I did the card the first time, I still had some glossy paper and how pretty that turned out. Okay, see how nice and crisp and clear that is. And then on the inside, there's your verbiage. Okay, so it's all going to print out one sheet of paper, 2 cards. Okay, now I don't have any more glossy paper, and I'm going to show you the reason that it's best to use the glossy paper. It's because without the glossy paper, it prints nicely, but it's just dull. Okay, so this is all I had left, but I wanted to show you the difference between using the glossy versus the non-glossy. You can see that glossy is very pretty, okay? Looks very professional. But this is all I got, so this is what I'm going to have to use just to show you how to do it. Now, I'm using an inkjet HP OfficeJet Pro 6960 printer, and I'm going to be using the cartridge on the bottom to put this back in. And so I'm going to put my paper in this way. So I have the image on the left hand side, and then I have the Yeah, I have the image on the left and then the blank side on the right. So I'm going to place it back in my printer just like this. Okay. So this is going to be on top, but the image is going to be on the left hand side. So I'm going to place that back into your printer and close that up. And then I'm going to go back to Microsoft PowerPoint and I'm going to click on the slide with the inside, which is the Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. You're going to click on that slide. You're going to go to File, Print, and everything should be set. All you need to do is just click on Print. So now it's printing the inside. We've already printed the outside. Now we're printing the inside of the card. You're going to need multi-purpose trimmer. Will come in handy. If not, you can use scissors, but you know, I think the trimmer makes it a lot easier for you to cut it and get it cut right. It's almost done here. So the way we're doing this, it's only going to take one cut, and that's just to split the card in half, okay? All right, so now we have the inside, the outside of our card. This is two separate cards. And then we have the inside of our card. And again, pardon me, I'm using just plain paper because I ran out of my glossy cardstock, but you'll still get the gist of it. So I'm going to fold it in half the long way. And then I suggest you do it flat. I'm just doing it like this so you can see it. And then you're going to fold it in half again. And make sure that it's nice and even so that when you cut it, they both look the same. Okay. So now all we have to do is just make one cut down the middle to get two cards. So I'm going to put this down so you can kind of see my cut here on the little trimmer. So I'm just going to slide that in and line it up and make sure I got it lined up straight. And I'm going to go ahead and cut. And there we have it. Done. That's the front side of your card. And then you have the inside of your card. Okay. Now, here's your second card. And the good thing about this, guys, like I said, it's COVID-19. We're in the middle of a pandemic. I know people refuse to believe we're still in a pandemic, but we are. But now you have two cards. The good thing about this in designing in PowerPoint is that you could have put one image, a different image on this one than this one, and you would still have two cards, two separate cards. Or you could do multiples. Like I said, you always want to make sure that you print the current slide. You can do 10 of the current slide and then go to the next slide and then do 10 of that current slide, but make sure you line it up properly. So your image is going to be on the left side, the blank side is going to be on the right, okay? That's how you're going to put it back in your inkjet printer, if your inkjet printer is set up with mine with the cartridge on the bottom, okay? So that's how you can get two cards, guys, using Microsoft PowerPoint, and it's going to take is just one cut. You can even do this with scissors. You really don't even have to, if you don't have a trimmer, I won't go out and buy one if I were you, because you can do it with scissors. It's only going to take one cut, and that's it. It's just making sure that you lay it down on a flat surface when you fold it so you can line it up nice and properly. And fold it twice so that you can get your two cards. You can also do this where, and maybe I'll do another one where you can actually do the larger cards. So you can get still two cards, but it's the larger one, okay? But that's something to think about. But that's it, guys. People love personalized projects or gifts. So instead of just keeping it simple like I did, you can get very creative with what you put on the inside. If you have family photos, you know, you could put a family photo on the front, and then put the verbiage on the inside, you know. And as far as the envelope, you can buy the blank envelopes either off of Amazon or either from like Walmart or Target or anything like that. But you can also make your own inside Cricut Design Space. Cricut Design Space has where you can go in and customize one of the greeting cards. And when you customize it, all you do is hide the part of the project where you're creating the card, and just leave the part of the card that's the envelope. Okay. So this is the difference. I'm going to show you what the difference is between using the glossy photo paper or the glossy cardstock versus just plain cardstock. So you can see the difference. This side is really nice and pretty. And then this one is still pretty, but it has a dull look. So depending on what look you want to go with, and if you don't think your family cares, then go with this one, okay? But if you want to make it really pop, then I would say use the glossy cardstock, okay? Not photo paper, but glossy cardstock, okay? Because if you use the photo paper, it's still going to be thin, and it takes a minute for that ink to dry, that inkjet ink to dry on just glossy photo paper, okay? So you want to make sure it's glossy cardstock. All right, guys, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. If you're currently subscribed to my YouTube channel, thank you guys for subscribing to my YouTube channel. And if not, and this is your first time seeing me do a tutorial and you happen to like the way that I teach, then please like, share, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Also, click the bell notification in the top right-hand corner and you'll be made aware anytime I upload videos to YouTube, which I do frequently. And then if you're currently one of my group members, Candoris's Cricut and Creative Crafts, then thank you guys so much for being one of my group members. And if you would like to join my group, Facebook group, not my Facebook page, but my Facebook group, then please send me a request to join Candoris's Cricut and Creative Crafters. That's my story. I'm sticking to it. This is creating greeting cards in Microsoft PowerPoint. We're in the middle of a pandemic, so anything we can do to save money this Christmas season, I'm sure you welcome it like I do. All right. All right, guys, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. And again, if you want to do the envelopes yourself, use the templates in Cricut Design Space. They're definitely going to be up under greeting cards. Just hide the card part using the little I in Cricut Design Space. Hide the card part, but then have the envelope part where you can do the envelope. Okay, to keep it simple, unless you want to run out and buy some blank envelopes, which you can get at Walmart or Target or any of the craft stores or Office Depot, something like that. I'm sure you can order them off Amazon. All right, guys, that's my story. I'm sticking to it. Thank you guys so much again. And my motto is each one reach one so that each one can teach one. And you guys have a great day. Bye.